Carrier Airwing 3 aboard the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower operating in the North Arabian Sea has joined the Iranian proxy war. A couple of days ago, U.S. Central Command tweeted the following: U.S. assets, to include the USS Laboon and FA-18 Super Hornets from the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, shot down 12 one-way attack drones, 3 anti-ship ballistic missiles, and 2 land attack cruise missiles in the southern Red Sea that were fired by the Houthis over a 10-hour period, which began at approximately 6:30 a.m. Sana'a time on December 26th. There was no damage to ships in the area or reported injuries. The U.S. Navy did not provide any detail about what was used to down the swarm of Houthi drones and missiles, but as I just read in the tweet, CENTCOM did allow that the 17 threats were brought down by a combination of weapons fired by the Laboon, which is an Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer in company with Ike, and for the first time since the Israel-Hamas war escalated tensions in the region, Super Hornets from CAG 3. As discussed during previous episodes on the topic, Arleigh Burkes have several options here. The first two, the close-in weapon system better known as CWIS and the 5-inch gun, are shorter-range weapons and most likely not the first options in this scenario. The weapons the destroyers have used in the recent past against Houthi drones and missiles are Standard missiles, of which there are basically 2 variants currently aboard U.S. Navy ships in the region: SM-6s with a range of 230 nautical miles and SM-2s with a range of 125 nautical miles. SM-6s go for about $4 million each, and SM-2s are about $2.5 million each. The Arleigh Burkes are also armed with Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, ESSMs, which have a range of 50 nautical miles and are most effective against low-flying threats like anti-ship cruise missiles and low-speed threats like drones. Each ESSM costs just over $1 million. On the airwing side of the equation, CAG 3 has 4 Super Hornet squadrons: one 2-seat FA-18F squadron, VFA-32 the Swordsman, and 3 single-seat FA-18E squadrons, VFA-83 the Rampagers, VFA-105 the Gunslingers, which frequent guest Hoser Miller commanded a few decades ago, and VFA-131 the Wildcats. Neither Central Command nor the U.S. Navy commented on exactly which of those 4 squadrons was involved in the shootdown. As documented in a number of episodes on the channel over the last few years, the Super Hornet was fielded to replace both the Legacy Hornet, the FA-18C, and the F-14 Tomcat. The first flight of the Super Hornet was in 1995, and the first operational deployment was in 2002. The Super Hornet was originally fitted with the APG-73 radar, but has since been upgraded with the APG-79 airborne electronically scanned array radar, which is better at detecting smaller, slower targets and can do so at longer range, which is ideal when considering the Houthi threat. As far as air-to-air weapons, the Super Hornet is equipped with Sidewinder heat-seeking missiles, AMRAAM, which is an acronym for Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile, active missiles, and a 20mm nose cannon. The Eisenhower Strike Group's Air Warfare Commander is the CEO of the cruiser Philippine Sea, and he has the responsibility of dividing the airspace into what they call Missile Engagement Zones, or MEZs, which in this case divides responsibility between the Laboon, sailing closer to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait than the carrier, and the Super Hornets flying Drone Cap, CAP is Combat Air Patrol, east of Laboon's weapons engagement ranges. The Houthi missiles and drones are tracked by any one or all of the surface warship's powerful Spy-1 radars, and those tracks can be automatically relayed to the Carrier Airwing's E-2 Hawkeye early warning aircraft and the Super Hornets. Whatever the rules of engagement are, the problem is relatively simple compared to a multi-wave strike scenario, in that the threat axis is basically north. As to which of the Super Hornets weapons were used against the Houthi drones, I think the analog is the F-22 and F-16 shootdowns of Chinese spy balloons almost a year ago. In each of those cases, the fighters used Sidewinder missiles. But the AMRAAM would work as well and at longer ranges. However, at just over $1 million each, as opposed to a Sidewinder at about $450,000 each, the Winder is the more cost-effective option. Gunning a drone would be the most badass option, but unlike the missiles that will self-destruct if they miss the intended target, stray bullets will fall all the way to the water below. And unless they cleared the area, which is doubtful they'd have the time in the heat of battle, that can pose a hazard to shipping. And in case you're wondering, downing 5 drones makes the pilot a drone ace, not an ace in the traditional sense. In response to all of this, the Houthis released the following statement, quote, "The Yemeni armed forces affirm their continued support and solidarity with the Palestinian people, consistent with their religious, moral, and humanitarian duty," end quote. That attitude, along with continued military support of the Houthis by the Iranian government, suggests we'll be seeing more of this activity in the days and weeks to come, which in turn makes me wonder when we're going to stop shooting arrows here and go ahead and deal with the archer. But whatever develops, we'll be covering the situation as the information becomes available, so if you're not already a subscriber, become one so you don't miss anything going forward. And in the meantime, I look forward to talking to you again very soon.